Namo Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswati Tato Jayam Mudirayet. Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu Nityaṁ bhāgavata-sevayā. Bhagavati uttamashloke bhaktir bhavati nashtaki. Ārādhayo bhagavan vrajeshatanayas tadhāma vrindavanam. Ramyakāchitupāsana vrajavadhu vargena va kalpita. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam pramanamamalam prema pumartho mahan. Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu matamidam tatradharana paraha. Jai Shri Krishna, Nama Om Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale, Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin iti namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine, Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear worshipful devotees, thank you so much. I see Baldev Siva Prabhu, Raghu Prabhu and Arun Bhandari Prabhu. Thank you so much for taking out your valuable time, and also to those who hear later at any point. Very, very grateful for your association in the daily reading of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So today is Friday, April 14th. We are reading Canto 10, chapter number 20, entitled The Rainy Season in the Autumn in Vrindavan. So, yesterday we were talking about some lessons from the fishes. How the fish keeps thinking, I will live here ever after. The water of the pond or the water of the water body keeps going down, but still never thinks that, oh, I will die soon. Let me do something now before the water is totally over. Let me not procrastinate. Let me not take it easy. So we discussed that, and ignorance is not bliss. So we had a lot of discussion on this aspect of death, pessimistic, realistic, etc., etc. So today we will move to the next verse, which is text number 39. Shannai Shannai Jagu Pankam Sthalayani Amam Cha Viruddha Yathaham Mamatam Dhira Shariradishva Anatmashu. Translation and purport by the disciples of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Gradually, the different areas of land give up their muddy condition, and the plants grew past their unripe stage. In the same way that sober sages give up egotism and possessiveness, these are based on things different from the real self, namely the material body and its byproducts. Purport. The word Adi Shu in this verse indicates the byproducts of the body, such as children, home, and wealth. Hare Krishna. So, this beautiful verse, gradually what happened, the land gives up their muddy conditions. So in the rainy season, so the first part, there was a lot of discussion about the rains, but in the next part, It's discussion. We're transitioning from rain to autumn, where that means the water level is going down. We discussed that yesterday also. The water level in the water bodies is going down, but here we see the muddy condition also goes down gradually. It's not overnight. It happens in incremental steps. And what happens? The muddy condition of the land goes down, and the plants grew past their unripe stage. So the muddy condition here is basically the two things mentioned here: egotism and possessiveness. Dhiraha yatha amalam mamatam dhiraha sharira adishu. Let's go word to word. That will be nice. Aham mamat, I and me. What? Egotism and possessiveness. Dhiraha sharira adishu. Towards what they have this egotism and possessiveness? Sharir, etc. Body, etc. Body and its byproducts. Things in connection to the body. Considering atmashu, which are completely distinct. That's not our true identity, but we consider that as true identity. So in the unripe state, or in the immature state of a sober person, one thinks that I'm body, things in relation to the body are mine, my wealth, my home, my children, my wife, my property, my car, my phone, iPhone, iPad, I aham mama. Ahankara vimuratma kartaham iti manyate aham mameti. Yes, that's the word I was looking for. Very, very nice verse. It comes in multiple, verses in the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. I'll just pull one verse which we can read. This word, aham mameti. Okay, let's go. This will be the topic for today. Aham mameti. All of you can read the verse in the translation. We'll read 3 more verses in this connection. This is from 558. Anyone knows what is this chapter? Canto 5, chapter 5. Any clue? Very important chapter. This is, I believe, the Rishabh teachings. Yes. Prabhupada quotes a lot of verses from this chapter. Teachings of Lord Rishabh. Prabhupada quotes a lot of verses from this chapter of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 5, chapter 5. So yes, someone can read this verse. Very, very important, often quoted verse 558. Yes, Baldev Prabhu, you can read this.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Pumshastriyo mithuno bhavam etam tayar mito hridayo granthim ahu atogriho shetro shutapto vitar jayasya moho ayam aham mameti. Translation purport by His Divine Grace as Bhakti Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. The attraction between male and female is a basic principle of material existence. On the basis of this misconception, which ties together the hearts of the male and female, one becomes attracted to his body, home, property, children, relative, and wealth. In this way, one increases life's illusions and thinks in terms of I and mine.
Isn't that powerful? Prabhupada quotes this a lot. Janasya moho yamam aham mameti. This is me. Aham griha kshetra. Griha means house, kshetra, my land, my property. Sut apta. Sutta means children, right? apta, relatives, vittaya, wealth, my income, my salary, my business, my 401k, my this, my that, my investments, all that, aham mameti, very, very strong, right? And this binds us. And what is the root? Like, how does it start? Attraction between male and female. When the child is, like a 10-year-old, they don't worry about home, they don't worry about cars, they don't worry about, oh, I will get right? They are just dependent on their parents, and whatever the parents give, they eat, whatever, they don't worry much about how much income will I have, right? But all this starts when this basic principle, it kind of reinforces. One more verse. Let's read. This is from Canto 4, chapter 28. This is a story of Puranjana, which we have read. Would someone like to read this verse?
I can read.
Iskcon.
Hare Kṛṣṇa, devotees. Aham mameti sviktatya graheshu kumatir grahi dadyau pramadaya dino viprayoga upasthite. Translation: King Puranjana was overly attached to his family and conceptions of I and mine. Because he was overly attached to his wife, he was already quite poverty-stricken. At the time of separation, he became very sorry. Back to you. Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Hare Kṛṣṇa. Thank you. So I, me, and mine. Aham mameti. So the why I'm emphasizing that is to show it's so many places this comes. At so many places this comes that when we forget Krishna, then this is a misconception of life. Forgetting our true self and relating ourselves with body, and therefore one takes pleasure in these things, right? Oh, I have a better job. Oh, I have a better car. So one's self-worth is understood in these days in these things, right? Like, for example, a boy wants to marry a girl. It'll say, oh, how beautiful the girl is, body, right? The girl wants to marry a boy. The girl will say, okay, what's his income, right? One time a girl married a 80-year-old young girl, beautiful young girl, married an 80-year-old person. Everyone asked, are you crazy, right? You are young, beautiful, you can easily find a person, equal or comparable to your age. You are in 25 years, you can easily find someone 30, or around your age. What did you see in that old person? She said two things. एक तो उसकी income, दूसरे उसके दिन कम. Din come means he has only few days. If I marry her, income is too much, all the wealth I'll get, din come. After a few days, he'll die, and then I'll get all the wealth. So that's the basis of everything in life these days. Friends mingle when pockets jingle, right? Recently, this is real story, by the way. This is real story. Someone, the friends, they invited, someone was sharing this, maybe, I don't know, this is culture in US or where Indian people were shocked at this culture somehow. So the Indian guy is saying this. My friend invited me for their marriage anniversary party in a nice restaurant, and I ate nicely and everything happened. But then after I reached home 2 days later, the bill of the restaurant came, hey, you ate this, you have to pay for this. This is so this is what the friendships are based on. And he said, okay, if I would have known that, I would have not even given the gift card which I gave that, right? So friends mingle when pockets jingle. This is the realization of the Avanti Brahman also. When I had wealth, a lot of people were behind me. Because everything in these days is based on external things. Therefore, the divorce rate is high. True friendship is very little. And the gross misconception of life, I, me, and mine, is kind of ruining the culture and ruining the true self. Sharira adishu anatmashu, which are completely anatmashu. This is not our true self, which are completely distinct from the true self. Back to this verse 39, anatmashu. This is not our true self. Our true self is we are eternal servant of Krishna. And when we forget that, then we are not in the sober state. So the point here is a sage gradually, through the process of bhakti yoga, gives up that I, me, and mine, gives up that muddy condition, like the autumn. So that's what we have to aspire for, to give up the bad and to cleanse ourselves of these layers of I, me, and mine. And Dhritarashtra, Duryodhana, Ravana, all of them, this mentality, I, me, and mine. And that mentality is there in practically all of the conditioned souls, in myself, right? It's very deep-rooted. Sometimes it may not be grossly exhibited. Even in spiritual life, it may come if you are not conscious. Oh, I give a better class. Oh, I know more verses. Oh, I am a better cook. Oh, I play better mridanga. Right? It can come because it's so deep-rooted. So you have to always remember, it's not about me. It's about Krishna. It's about bhakti. It's about service. Yes, I will do my best. Yes, absolutely. Krishna, whatever he has given me, resources, talents, intelligence, whatever it is his. I, as a via medium, will use the best I can to serve him and the devotees to the best I can. This is the success of my true self. Any other comments before we move on to the next verse? Okay, let's read text number 40. Anyone would like to read? Kant Prabhu, do you like to read?
Sure, Prabhuji. Hare Kṛṣṇa, everyone. Nischalambhur adbhuta tushchinam samudra sharad agame atmanya parete samyan murnir yo paratma gamaha. Translation purport by Śrī Bhaktivinoda Swami devotees ki jai. With the arrival of autumn, the oceans and lakes became silent, their water still, just like a sage who has desisted from all material activities and give up his recitation of Vedic mantras. Purport. One recites ordinary Vedic mantras for material promotion, mystic powers, and impersonal salvation. But when a sage is completely free of personal desires, he vibrates the transcendental glories of the Supreme Lord exclusively. So thank you, Prabhupada. I was like, I don't know how to explain, but when I first read the translation, it sounded like, I'm in wrong impression so far that sages would be reading Vedic mantras so that they can they'll be in the mood of goodness and beyond that. But now I understood that they will give up even that. Just they will be chanting only the glories of the Supreme and nothing else. Not even the Vedic mantras are not even equivalent to the glories of Supreme. So That's kind of understood, Prabhuji. Thank you. Please add more, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. So interesting, isn't it? Bhagavatam is so deep. So there are a lot of mantras, Vedic mantras. When we say Vedic mantras, there are so many, 4 Vedas primarily. First one, it was broken into subdivisions, 4 parts. Then Vedas, 18 Puranas, 108 Upanishads. How many mantras are there in all that? 100,000 verses in the Mahabharata, right? So many mantras are there. So many mantras. And we see also these mantras in Vedas and mantras in Upanishads and Puranas. Yes, they are Vedic mantras. They are Veda. Veda means book of knowledge. But what is the essence of all these scriptures? Sarva Veda Sar is the Mahamantra. The essence of all the scriptures. Even the Vyasadeva himself, after writing, he wrote all these, right? All the scriptures. And then after doing that, he was still not happy. Then his Guru Narad Muni came and chastised. What have you done? You have made a mess. Khichdi bana diya. People are confused, right? Now you make pure, unalloyed, unadulterated glories of the Supreme Lord. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Nigama kalpaturur galitam phalam. Shukham mukhat amritam dravya samyutam. Pibat bhagavatam rasam alayam. Muhur aho rasika bhuvi bhavuka. This is the ripened fruit. Nigama kalpatur galitam phalam. Paka hua phal. This is the ripened fruit of all the Vedic literatures. The essence of all Vedic literatures. Unlawed glories. So in short, there are a lot of karma kanda mantras which are in the Vedas. But as transcendentalist or aspiring transcendentalist, or it's synonymous to Vaishnavas here, or devotees who are aspiring for the unalloyed glories, unalloyed Krishna Prem. We are not interested in this mantra and that mantra and this yagya and that yagya and karma kand and upasana kand and jnana kand. Narottam Das Thakur says that. Karma kand, jnana kand, upasana kand, keval vishera bhanda. Vishay ka bhanda hai. It's a pot of poison. Nana yoni sada fire. We will keep revolving in different. Yes, there are a lot of mantras in the karma kanda scriptures, which also are Vedas, because Vedas also talk about how to go to heaven. Right? Yes. Veda means book of knowledge. Veda has all kind of knowledge. Veda has knowledge about sense gratification. Veda has knowledge about astronomy, astrology. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur was a great astrologer, but later he gave up all that. This is all nothing in front of Krishna's unalloyed glories. So in short, they settle down. They settle down. They settle down with the gravity of Krishna Prem, with the gravity of Krishna consciousness. The lakes become silent. Silent means they deepen, and the water is still. And just like a sage who has desisted from material activities, karma kanda, or things which are not, and given up his recitation of Vedic mantras. Now it's a big test also. I think sometimes people say, oh, I have been chanting this from my childhood. Right? It's a good lesson here, right? Om Jai Jagadish Hare Sukha Sampati Gharave, right? This is a quite famous thing in all over India and maybe US also, for those who are from that background. The prayer is that Krishna, you give, not even Krishna, whoever they're praying to, some demigod, some Lord Vishnu or anywhere, they're praying, okay, you take my misery, you give me wealth, you give me happiness, you give me this, give me this. There's a long list. Take my misery. Kashta mite tanka. You remove my sorrows of my body, my family. Again, very selfish prayer. I mean, it's okay. It's not bad to pray to Krishna, even that, but still, pure Vaishnavas don't even pray that. But the point is, there could be certain mantras, there could be certain prayers, there could be certain things which are in Vedas, which we might be chanting, but then later when we come to Krishna consciousness and we understand that what is the essence of all prayer, we don't, like literally on the face say anyone to give up anything. But the person naturally understands after taking shelter of Guru Sadhu Shastra that yes, the scriptures are not lying. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is saying all this. They're not lying. They are giving me a higher thing. For example, the father may take something from the child away. The child is holding a knife, let's say, or even holding a plastic spoon, let's say, and eating with that. The father says, hey, don't eat with that plastic spoon. It's not good for your health. But the child thinks, no, I've been eating for the last 5 years, 10 years. The father says, no, my child is not good for you. Then the child still doesn't understand. The father says, okay, you take I'll give you a silver spoon. Why don't you eat, or I'll give you some other wooden spoon. You eat with this. This is very good for your health and your hygiene and everything. So the father is a well-wisher, not an enemy. Same as scriptures here. When the scriptures say don't do something, then you should understand that they are not our enemies. Same applies to sadhus, same applies to Guru Sadhu Shastra. So in short, we should focus on the essence, and the essence is to chant unalloyed Krishna consciousness mantras, which are recommended in the Gita, Bhagavatam, and the essence of all mantras, sarva mantras are Hare Kṛṣṇa, Hare Kṛṣṇa, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Any other thoughts, comments anyone has? Okay. Yes, Mataji, please.
Hare Kṛṣṇa, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, devotees. Prabhuji, something struck me, the last sentence that Prabhuji read from the purport. It says, from a elevated devotee or who's a guru, we can easily get the knowledge from, or we can identify the guru more easily. I'm just trying to understand the last sentence more, Prabhuji, if you can.
Text number 40, purport.
Yeah, Prabhuji just read.
Purport or translation? So let's reread it. It's only 2 lines. You want to read it?
Yeah, yes, Prabhuji, but the one that you highlighted. But when a sage is completely free of personal desire, he vibrates the transcendental glories of the Supreme Lord exclusively. Does that mean the transcendental glories would be visible from him automatically? Or because he is free from bondage, he would be resembling the Lord transcendental? Just trying to understand.
No. Vibrates basically means the tongue here. Recitation. He recites. So link that word. Recitation. Okay. Speak up. Speaking. Uvacha. Right? The tongue vibrates. So link it to the Rupa Goswami's favorite verse and very, very often quoted verse by Prabhupada. Anya bhilashita shunyam jnana karmadi anavritam Anukulyena Krishnanu Shiranam Bhakti Uttama. Uttama Bhakti. What is Uttama Bhakti? Anya Abhilashita Shunya. That's exactly the same line. Anya Abhilasha means desire for one's selfish money, fame, name. When the sage is completely free from any personal desire, any selfish desire, Anya Abhilashita Shunya. Shunya means zero. When we are free from personal desires, right? Then when we do bhakti, then what we are chanting Hare Kṛṣṇa, it's much more deep, powerful. Then we are really calling Krishna, not to give us a better job, not to take our disease away, not to, oh, my family member is not well, all right? Those are all, I mean, they're not bad desires. It's okay in the to ask for Krishna, but Prahlad Maharaj didn't ask, right? Prahlad Maharaj never asked anything in the midst of all the turbulence, in the midst of all the life-threatening situations. He never said, Krishna, please protect my life. He did say, or great devotees do ask, Krishna, protect my bhakti. Prana prayana samay kafavad pittai. Whenever I give up my life, you should be in my heart. That's the fear of a devotee, not the fear of giving up one's life. So the point here is, the word vibrate means they are not chanting any prayer for their selfish interest or desires. Na dhanam na janam na sundarim kavitam va jagadisha kamai. Lord Chaitanya Mahāprabhu, I do not want wealth, I do not want good health, I do not want followers, I do not want scholarship, I do not want this, all material thing. In modern days, it could be, good job, good house, good car, good income, good bank balance, good investment. That's what people want, right? He says, no, I do not want all that. What do I want? Bhagavat bhaktir ahetuki. All words are important. Bhagavat bhakti, the worship of the Supreme Lord Krishna, and that too ahetuki, selflessly, bina kisi hetuki. No other. Hetu means cause. No other cause. Only pure, selfless, unalloyed bhakti. That's Uttama Bhakti. That's topmost bhakti. Haribol. Is that okay?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Haribol.
Hare Krishna. Maybe you can read the next one.
Yes, Prabhuji, I'll try. Dhanvat Pranam devotees, text 41. Kedarebhyas tva apograhnan karsaka dratsetubhihi yatha prana shravajnanam nirodhane yogina. Translation and put by his devotees of the Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. In the same way, the practitioners of yoga bring their senses under strict control to check their consciousness from flowering out through the agitated senses. The farmers erected strong mud banks to keep the water within their rice fields from draining out. Purport: Srila Prabhupada comments, in autumn, farmers save the water within the fields by building strong walls so that the water contained within the field cannot run out. There is hardly any hope for new rainfall. Therefore, they want to save whatever is in the field. Similarly, a person who is actually advanced in self-realization protects his energy by controlling the senses. It is advised that after the age of 50, one should retire from family life and conserve the energy of the body for utilization and the advancement of Krishna consciousness. Unless one is able to control the senses and engage them in the transcendental loving service of Mukunda, there is no possibility of salvation. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. It is said 50, Prabhuji, very close. I mean, age-wise 50, but already over 50 in actions. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Bhakti.
What's your plan?
Just to follow you, Prabhuji. Hold you.
Hare Krishna. We're holding Srila Prabhupada, the pure Acharya, and his wonderful disciples by coming tomorrow to give all of us darshan and their blessings. You just hold them. Yes, we have a lot of hope. Very nice example here. How many of you have seen this? Anyone has seen in villages, agricultural fields, the farmer build these partitioning walls of the paddy fields so the water stays conserved?
Yes, Prabhuji. While I was reading, was actually recalling the memories from India back then.
I have a nice picture in here, which let me try to share with everyone. Anyone wants to share any thoughts here? So what's the farmer compared to here?
The sages who are following, who are trying to protect the transcendental knowledge.
And what is that wall? There's a discussion of a wall. So what's the wall and what's the water? So the farmers are not letting the water get out by the medium of the wall. So they're building these walls so the water can be retained or stored. So now, yeah, Baldev Prabhu was saying something.
So to retain the energy for the spiritual advancement by retaining from family life.
Very nice. Any other thoughts, examples?
So Prabhuji, like trying to cutting down our material activities as much as possible, and by the time kids also grown up, and concentrate in the bhakti more.
Okay.
So,
Yeah. Yes.
if I may add, Prabhuji, I'm just trying to relate to kind of a follow-up to what we read in the previous text. So sages, instead of going through all the Veda, not just going through, but highly focusing on Krishna consciousness, they want to protect, in order to go take a advance in Krishna consciousness, they have to protect. I think in one of the lecture, one of the class, you also mentioned that if we try to association, right? If it depends on our association. If you're associated with materialistic or non-devotees, then our consciousness obviously gets reduced. So if we are with the association of the devotees, definitely our consciousness would be increasing. Well, we wouldn't lose in the first place, and then eventually we would be advancing in our Krishna consciousness. So here, sages as well, the more they continue to control the senses and focus on the Mahamantra japa, then they will advance in Krishna consciousness. They will not lose and control.
Thank you.
Please correct.
Very nice. I'll just share a picture from the Light of the Bhagavad book. So these are the walls here, you see, these like square, rectangular, and there is a paddy field, rice field, so that, and which needs a lot of water. So they are like building these walls to retain the water. And I was trying to connect this to, we also have these walls of regulative principles of freedom. And it applies in every aspect. Like, for example, watching something on YouTube. Because energy can be drained in multiple aspects. Time is also energy, our precious time, right? We can drain our time by watching 5 hours of movies, correct? It's a waste of time, it's a waste of energy, it's a waste of consciousness. But if we understand, oh, we have this wall of regulative principle, and this is not aligned in that wall. This doesn't fit in that. This is not something recommended by Guru Sadhu Shastra. Let me not do it. Right? It applies everywhere. In the family life, in the Vanaprastha life, we have the wall of the no illicit sex, right? There is permission to the grihasthas to have nice Krishna conscious children, but outside that there is a wall, or there is a, you can say, it's not, wall may not be the great word either. It's like a, you can say, safety wall, right? It's a fence to protect us from Maya. It's a protective wall, like in the forts in the old days would have walls, right? Strong walls. The stronger the wall, the healthy the defense system is, isn't it? That no predators, no enemies, no opposite party can come in. So we have to also have strong walls, a fence system of healthy Krishna conscious system. We are not against recreation, right? But recreation should be also in the walls. For example, one can go to a nightclub for recreation, but one can go to a park or a museum for recreation, right? They both are, one is in totally ignorance when one is in mode of goodness. One can go to a beach, one can go to a museum, a park. That's also recreation with family, but one can go to drink alcohol. Some people consider that as, one can go to a casino to gamble. So in short, these walls are our defense system. So we can do things, but within the walls. We should not transgress our walls. These boundaries, in they say, don't cross your boundaries, right? They say in common parlance, don't cross your boundaries, which we sometimes may tell the kids, hey, don't cross your boundaries, right? It's in a good way, right? It's in a good way. Cultured people have that, right? The people who do not follow any culture or system, they don't have any boundaries. You eat with whatever you want. You do whatever you want. There's no boundaries. There's no sense of culture. There's no sense of right or wrong. But sages, devotees, Krishna conscious people, they do have one. We have time to eat. We have time to sleep. We have things we eat. We have things we don't eat. We have things we watch. We have things we don't watch, right? Same with speaking. We can talk to someone for 5 hours and just waste our time, correct? Right? Just recently, someone sent me a quote, which I'm going to share with you. Where is that? I thought it came today only. Anyways, I remember the essence. The essence was that we should not try to preach to a person who's already too puffed up with false ego. It will only agitate them further. It will only aggravate them and bring out negative anger in them, right? So you can spend 2 hours with someone who's totally not interested in hearing anything what you want to say. That's also a waste of time and waste of energy. So we don't have to drain that, right? And draining energy could be in multiple aspects, correct? It could be in speaking, it could be using our eyes, it could be using our other senses, it could be using our ears, right? We could drain energy in different ways. So we have to again see when to speak, when not to speak, what to see, what not to see, what to hear, what not to hear, right? Where to go, where not to go, whom to talk, whom not to talk, whom to associate, whom not to associate. All this is, very well laid in our holy scriptures, in our Krishna consciousness. And we must try our best to do that. That is bhakti. This is not fanatism. This is what is required for Krishna consciousness. I'll take a pause. Any thoughts, comments anyone has? Do you think it makes sense or?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, definitely makes sense. The comparison with the walls with the 4 regulative principles and sadhu, the 3 S's, right? Sadhu. Sorry, what?
Guru, Sadhu,
Shastra,
Shastra.
Shastra, Guru, and yes, Prabhuji. So yeah, yes, Prabhuji, it relates. Thank you. Thank you so much.
So there are also boundaries in the material world all the time. I cannot drive the way I want. So I cannot do at my workplace whatever the way I want. So boundaries in everywhere. So in every aspect.
True. Yes, very nice. If we disobey even the material rules, let's say we ignore the red light, we will get a ticket and one after the other, and then the police will take our liberty to drive itself if we just ignore there. Similarly, if we ignore the boundaries of the scriptures, we will have to pay the consequences. We have to suffer the consequences of that. Right? Thank you. Very nice comment. Okay, so tomorrow is Saturday, and we will not have class tomorrow since we are having kind of a class or presentation tomorrow evening, and we need to prepare and get ready and stuff like that also. But we will have a Bhagavatam class day after on Ekadashi day, which will be by His Grace Jananivas Prabhu, and it will be our great fortune to attend this in person. For those who are in Tampa, please try to come, and those who are not in Tampa or those who cannot come due to any reasons, please try to attend on Zoom. That will also be there. So the time is 8 a.m. So somewhere around 8 a.m. the class should begin on Sunday, and the tomorrow program will also be there. So with that, we will pause for today, and Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Purana ki jai, Jagadguru Śrī Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveta Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripasindubhya eva cha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo. Thank you. Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Hare
Jai
Krishna.
Śrī Prabhupada.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Krishna Prabhuji. Pranam devotees. Hare
Krishna
Krishna.
Prabhuji. Thank you.